Hi, my name is Bear, and let's start with Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. This is a really original and truly amazing game where you play as an ape. Yeah, your journey starts 10 million years ago, and by then we still shared our ancestors with gorillas and chimpanzees. Our last common ancestor with the apes, chimpanzees to be exact, is known to be roughly about 5 million years old. So you start as an ape and over the years evolve into an early human. The whole game spans from 10 million to 2 million years ago. Your task is for you and your tribe not to die and not to choose the path of extinction. The future of humanity is in your hands, like literally. As developers say, evolution was not written in stone. Your decisions will shape how you will overcome obstacles, increase your species, and what knowledge you will pass on to future generations. You can focus on specific attributes or choose a more balanced approach to survival. Your clan's ability to survive will be directly impacted by your decisions and choices, making each player's experience a unique one. It's a wonderful game reminding us that we are just starting to go on our evolutionary path as human species. 2 million years is nothing. Dinosaurs existed for 165 million years before they all died out, except the birds, of course, add another 65 million years to that big number. That is a huge difference, not as huge as your mama though. Blacktail. Here the choice is yours. Will you become the guardian of the woods or the terror nightmares are made of? You play as Yaga, a 16-year-old girl accused of witchcraft and expelled from a medieval settlement. Well, I know what I would be doing after that. Definitely not helping poor folk from the aforementioned village to heal their sick cattle. No, I would rather secretly put pineapple in their potato salad. Also would turn all their delicious beer into milk.
Milk of a cat.
Yeah, milk of a cat or of a hamster. Anyway, he will decide the fate of the land and its inhabitants, and witness the impact of your decisions on your skills through an implemented morality system. People on Steam are saying that the game feels more mature than the visuals it provides, and the story is really dark and captivating. Batman Arkham Knight Premium Edition. Here, obviously, you will become Batman. The game comes with the introduction of the Batmobile and enhancements to signature features, such as free-flow combat, stealth, forensics, and navigation. The main feature, the Batmobile, is brought to life with an original design featuring a distinct visual appearance and a full range of high-tech gadgetry. It is designed to be fully drivable throughout the game world and capable of transformation from high-speed pursuit mode to military-grade battle mode. Vehicle sits at the heart of the game's design and allows you to race the streets at high speeds and catch most dangerous villains. Batmobile also augments your abilities in every aspect, from navigation and forensics to combat and puzzle solving. People on Steam are saying that Arkham Knight looks better than most games today and is immensely fun. The reviews are around 90%. The game is great. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you're used to old-school Assassin's Creed games, keep in mind that Odyssey isn't like the first titles, and among your enemies you will encounter various monsters and mythological beings from legends, like Medusa for example. The game really has some witchery vibes. Here you'll also have weapons with supernatural abilities like increased strength or the ability to instantly knock out an opponent's shield. So here you'll explore ancient Greece, from lush vibrant forests to volcanic islands and bustling cities, and start a journey in a world shaped by gods and men. Here decisions will impact how your Odyssey unfolds. You can play through multiple endings thanks to the dialogue system and the choices you make. Customize your gear, ship, and special abilities to become a legendary assassin. People on Steam are praising smooth mechanics and great visuals, although the story is like your cousin, a bit dull and naive. Choo-choo Charles. Here you will navigate a massive play area in a cute little train, and your mission here is to kill and destroy another train, which is a bloodthirsty spider train named Charles. So Mr. Charlie is a very bad train. He misbehaves by eating people alive. He's very hungry train and he won't stop until you stop him, with machine guns, rockets, and other weaponry. People on Steam are praising the game for having a great story, characters, concept, and design. It's a short game though, it will take about 3 hours to beat it, but those hours will be legendary. Game has a very positive review score, so don't hesitate. If you ever wanted to hunt for some killer spider train, it is your chance. The biggest downside of the game is that you can't romance other trains or Charlie himself. It would be great if the story took a turn towards breeding new Charlies, so you can't cross that out of your bucket list yet, but who knows what next patch will bring us. V-Rising. In this survival action RPG, you will awaken as a weakened vampire after centuries of slumber. You will hunt for blood in nearby settlements to regain your strength, while hiding from the scorching sun and aggressive garlic loaves. You will also have to rebuild your castle from ruins and convert humans into your loyal servants in a quest to raise your vampire empire. People on Steam are saying that the combat here is largely dependent on skill and not on RNG, which is undoubtedly one of the best features of this game. Also, the co-op part of V-Rising is made very well, so if you have a friend, you have my all recommendations to play this game together. And I literally mean together, not against each other, because the PvP part of the game is pretty boring. Well, for now. As I've mentioned, V-Rising is still in early access. The Forest franchise. There are 2 games in the series, and the first part, called The Forest, is one of the most beloved games on Steam overall. I'm not kidding, it has more than 400,000 reviews and an overwhelmingly positive score. So here, alongside the sandbox part, where you cut the trees, build cute houses, lay traps and free roam this beautiful world, there is this cannibal part of the game. You have to defend yourself against a clan of genetic mutant enemies that have beliefs, families, morals, and appear almost human, except that they want to kill and eat you. Second part of the game, called Sons of the Forest, was recently released in early access, and the game was so popular that it literally crashed Steam and people had to wait for their turn to buy the game. So far it has a very positive review score on Steam, left by more than 100,000 people, and the price is really nice. The Outer Worlds. Somehow I always think that this game gets too little attention. It is definitely one of the best RPG games I have played in recent years. It is funny, it has secrets, many guns and places to explore. It's not just Fallout in space. I had more fun playing The Outer Worlds than I had playing Fallout 4. Even if this is a bit smaller game, I can absolutely give it 9 cold beers out of 10 and recommend it to you without a doubt. But I have to mention that it has some cons as well, like unbalanced difficulty. You know, at first you die a lot, but later everything else dies in seconds, even the strongest monsters. Then you may think,
hey, I will switch from hard to the hardest difficulty.
But you can't. You have to play the whole game on this hardest difficulty without switching it off, because developers decided to add some stupid achievements most of the players don't even care about. So you will feel overpowered all the time and you can't do anything about that. That's why I didn't buy and didn't play the last DLC. I already feel like a combat god, everything just dies when I blink. Stranded Deep. In the aftermath of a mysterious plane crash, you are stranded in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Alone, without any means to call for help, you must do what you can to survive. Explore underwater and on land as you hunt for supplies to craft the tools, weapons and shelter you'll need to stay alive. You will have to stay sharp. Hunger, thirst and exposure conspire against you as you brave treacherous elements and the dangerous creatures of the Pacific. And whenever I play survival games, I really wish that I was thirsty and hungry along with my character, because I always forget to eat or drink or, you know, to get warm, and then I die. And most of these games have no happy ending for me. Anyway, let's hope that you will live long and stay alive. I'm kidding, you will not. Just Cause 3. The Mediterranean Republic of Medici is suffering under the control of a dictator with a huge appetite for power. So this is some kind of Mediterranean Belarus, and you have to show them what freedom looks like. And here it looks like death and explosions of dictator's troops and allies. Here you will be given complete vertical freedom. Skydive, base jump and freedive in an open world the size of 1,000 square kilometers, so you can create chaos in all of this land and have a lot of fun. People on Steam are saying that the game is very fun and has almost zero boring moments. The grappling hook and the wingsuit will help you to fly around and cause havoc, and this experience will keep you entertained for hours. To be exact, about 18 hours of your boring life will be made better by this game. Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. Although I am a fan of Jacques-Yves Cousteau, Subnautica always looked more like a Little Mermaid to me. You know, a very colorful world filled with shiny bright corals and fishes seemed like a game for kids and not for an old grumpy dude like me. But you know, as a YouTuber I have to try a lot of games, at least a little, so I could have a perspective. So I installed the game and I love it now. It's addictive and it's really hard to stop playing. You know, they should put a label on it or something warning people that before and after the playtime, in that time years could pass without a trace. When you finally finish playing, you go to the bathroom to take a biggie for the first time in like 20 years, and you are suddenly this guy.
Place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it. He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
So yeah, that's what Subnautica can do to you. And Below Zero is Subnautica too, but you don't have to play the first part to understand everything. For example, I would start from the first part, but just because I could have more of it to play. But hey, it doesn't really matter. Terraria. The game is way more than just a flat version of Minecraft. Terraria is so much more beautiful, with more special effects and more dynamic fights. Here you can craft hundreds of items, build houses or even castles in any form you desire. Yes, even in that one you are thinking about.
Castle of Boob?
Yes, the Castle of Boob. Here you'll have to survive dangerous nights, defeat waves of enemies and dig down below to encounter some unspeakable horrors. Yeah, really, some of them are really difficult to describe, although don't play it alone. Play it with your wife, brother, friend or mother-in-law. You will enhance the experience many times. The game has overwhelmingly positive reviews, everyone likes it. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition. This version with upgraded graphics was released 7 years ago, and it still has about 25,000 players in game simultaneously at all times. By player count on Steam it holds 46th place among all the games. That shows how huge and popular this game is. There is no doubt that Skyrim is a masterpiece of open world games, and in my opinion it was decrowned from the throne of the best game in the field only by the third Witcher. By now it is of course a bit outdated, but it still lets you dive into a huge fantasy world and explore incredible places. Skyrim is single player only. There is no bullshit of other players invading your game like in Elden Ring, no other gamers walking around like in Diablo 4 when you just try to accomplish single player campaign. Here you are alone, and everything is done for your personal pleasure. You can become a warrior, mage, assassin or drug addict. You know, it's up to you. Skyrim is like a great book where you are the main protagonist. Superhero to be fair, but the lore is super deep. Stories, especially for guild quests, are great, and if you never played it, just do it. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. As people say, this game is a mix of Batman, Assassin's Creed, The Witcher and Tetris. Why Tetris, you ask? As I always say, in this game, just like in Tetris, enemies will come at you in all shapes and sizes at different speeds and you will have to make them disappear if you want to survive. See, Middle-earth is just like Tetris. Deal with it. Here the visuals and the world captures the essence of Middle-earth absolutely perfectly. You know, in the same way like potato salad captures your taste buds. Just like that. If you are a fan of Tolkien's world, this game will make you an addict. This is a real orc-killing simulator after all. The story is also nice to say the least, and combat is very satisfying. You will feel as a bit overpowered combat god, but that won't affect the gameplay itself. You will always get some really hard adversaries to test the strength of your mental balls. Don't be shy, have them big and hairy so your enemies would die from fear alone. Green Hell. Game feels like Wrath, The Forest and Far Cry Primal had a baby, and very positive reviews are saying to us that this baby is not ugly and you shouldn't give up it for adoption. This time. Here you are left alone in a jungle without any food or equipment, trying to survive and find your way out. Clinging to life, you have to go on a journey of durability, as the effects of solitude weigh heavy not only on your body but also on the mind. How long can you survive against the dangers of the unknown? Knowing you, probably not very long. You know, me as well, when I watch survival shows, especially the one called Alone, I'm always thinking that I would never give up and I would win the money no matter what, not like these other people. But the truth is, I would probably slip on some snail and die on the third day. Or, you know, I probably would be attacked and eaten by a bunch of these, which is a terrible fate. So here, constantly threatened by the jungle, you'll fight with both wild animals and tropical illnesses. You will also have to face the traps set by your own mind and fears that crawl out of the darkness of the endless jungle. Enjoy the game alone or with friends. Kenshi. This is a free-roaming, squad-based RPG focusing on open-ended sandbox gameplay. You can be a trader, a thief, a rebel, a warlord, a slave, or just food for the cannibals. The freedom is here and it's up to you how you would use it. You can research new equipment and craft new gear, purchase and upgrade your own buildings to use as safe fortified havens when things go bad, or use them to start up a business. Well, it's a sandbox game after all. You can aid or oppose the various factions in the world while striving for the strength and wealth necessary to simply survive in the harsh desert. You will train your men up from puny victims to master warriors, carry your wounded squadmates to safety and get them all home alive. The game is purely single player and it's an owner of overwhelmingly positive reviews left by tens of thousands of people. The Eternal Cylinder. You know how we are always whining about all the games being the same? All the games copy other games, and then some copies become even more popular than the originals, and then everyone is copying the copies until the cycle repeats itself. Yeah, that's not the case with the Eternal Cylinder. I doubt that I have seen anything like this. The game is obviously inspired by some crazy artist or made by one, so he will control this cute creature and wander around with various tasks. But the true meaning of this game lies in its name. An enormous rolling cylinder is approaching, and you, along with everything around, are its pizza dough. It is a mobile megastructure of unknown origin. It has destroyed and absorbed countless civilizations over the billions of years of its existence, and will do the same to you and your land. It can be delayed, but it has never been truly stopped.
Well, maybe bigger being can stop it.
What do you mean by bigger being?
I'm talking about your mama.
Oh, shut up. So I guess if you fail, everyone will die. Game has very positive reviews and it's really underrated. Also, the soundtrack is free to download. That is not what you see every day in this greedy world, that's for sure. Starbound. This is basically a Terraria in space where you create your own story. There is no wrong way to play. You can go and save the universe from the forces that destroyed your home, uncovering greater galactic mysteries in the process. Or you may wish to ignore this heroic journey entirely in favor of colonizing uncharted planets, collecting rare creatures, or delve into dangerous dungeons and lay claim to otherworldly treasures. Discover ancient temples and modern cities, trees with eyes, mischievous penguins, and talking ding-dongs. Well, you'll be first to find those, but you never know. Universe is endless. Thief Simulator. If you always wanted to become a thief, good for you. Dive into the life of crime, don't hesitate. You got this. Or you can play this game where you can train and become a thief before becoming a real thief. I'm kidding, of course.
Or am I?
You'll steal in a free-roam sandbox neighborhoods. You'll have to observe your target and gather information that will help you with the burglary. Gather your courage, take the challenge, and rob the best secured houses. Buy some high-tech burglar equipment and learn new thief tricks. You can also sell stolen goods and do anything that a real thief does. Grounded. One of the smallest open-world games. You can only freely move around in your yard of several square meters. The trick is that the game follows the best traditions of famous movie.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And here you are literally shrunk to the size of an ant. So actually this world is vast, beautiful and dangerous place. You know, almost every predator is bigger than you. Probably a dog peeing on some flour can literally drown you in a way that you wouldn't want to be carved on your tombstone. So here we'll explore, build and survive together in this first-person multiplayer survival adventure. So can you thrive alongside the hordes of giant insects fighting to survive the perils of the backyard? Well, alone probably not, but if you have some friends or a loving mother-in-law, you can play the game together and have lots of fun. The rating on Steam hovers around 90%, and that is always a sign of a good game. Valheim. Most of us can remember the hype it caused on release date, and the hype is well deserved. This game is really a masterpiece with a review score never, at least on Steam, never below 90%. It may scare you that the game is still in early access after all those years, but if you focus on the main objectives only, it will still provide you with more than 70 hours of gameplay. And keep in mind that on sale you can get it for about 12 euros or dollars, so it's a nice addition to your wishlist. And in general, Valheim is a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players, set in a procedurally generated world inspired by Norse mythology. You will craft powerful weapons, construct longhouses, grow your balls and slay mighty foes to prove yourself to Odin. Mafia Definitive Edition. Remastered and re-released in 2020, the game is a proud owner of a very positive reviews on Steam. He'll take on the role of a mafioso in 1930s city of Lost Haven. It's a fictional place, but it's inspired by the city of Chicago. The town got hit hard by the Great Depression, and the advent of Prohibition in America means lucrative business opportunities for various mobsters. And let's be fair, for some shady old ladies as well who are brewing their moonshines deep in the cellars. Anyway, as I've said many times before, Prohibition in my eyes is a crime against humanity, so those gangsters are just folks struggling to survive in this authoritarian environment. No Man's Sky. The game was released 7 years ago and it flopped like no game has ever flopped before. Despite that, developers scooped their shattered dignity and textures together and molded it into a great game. No Man's Sky is a live project. Updates are constant, the game is getting better and better every year. They are serious about this game and that's why the price never goes below 50%. You know, they have to pay salaries to all the people updating the game, so they could buy delicious ingredients for the best potato salad. The game itself is an open-world galaxy sim where you craft and build stuff in order to survive. It's one of the best games of the genre, so if you are up for the adventure, don't overthink it. Outward Definitive Edition. This is an open-world survival game with Souls-like combat mechanics. In this edition you will find both DLCs, new weapons, dungeons and also several life quality improvements. The game has only a mostly positive review score on Steam, but it doesn't do the justice. Most people who are giving a dislike spend 40 to 60 hours in game, and that honestly looks like some kind of masochism. If you don't like the game, just don't play it. Like Warren Buffett once said, always take the easy road and you will get there first. Anyway, Outward is like Skyrim and Dark Souls had a weird hybrid baby, and instead of abortion, this time they decided to keep it. If you like both games, why not? Outward has some problems, but in general it is a nice game. Far Cry 6. The game will take you on a journey to Yara, a fictional tropical country inspired by Cuba. Here, ruthless dictator Anton Castillo is in charge. His life's goal is to rebuild the country and bring it back to its glory 50 years ago, when the dictator was his father, no matter what sacrifices he has to make to the people.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
And you play as a warrior of the local resistance movement, trying to remove Castillo from power through both guerrilla warfare and bloody protests in the streets. So as you fight this evil man, be sure that you will never get yourself into a situation where you have to be at his mercy. Yeah, because when you see Giancarlo Esposito as a bad guy, you know that he will do anything to achieve his goal. So fighting a boss like that is a serious business that will not let you make any mistakes. The Long Dock.
Title your sex tape.
When I look outside my window into the vast wilderness of North and Eastern Europe, I realize that I don't need games like that. I live in one of them. Snow, ice and cold rules my land, and only the power of my heater keeps me alive. I have to pay 100 euros per month for it, but, you know, it's worth it. Not dying is great. And for the rest of you who are way more lucky with the climate, I should probably say that this game, despite sometimes being very relaxing, is kinda hard. You will starve, you will be thirsty, you will be cold, and you will be eaten by a bear. Still while being alive, screaming and kicking, you know, with the rest of your body that is still not eaten at the moment. So with this joyful note, I must stress out that this is an amazing survival game with more than 90% of positive reviews on Steam. People are talking that this is an artistic masterpiece and one of the best games of the genre. Eastshade. Nothing shady about this game, in fact it's hard to find some darker corner here. You are a traveling painter exploring the island and capturing the world on your canvas. Talk to the inhabitants to learn about their lives, make friends and help those in need. Visit cities, scale summits, unearth mysteries and discover forgotten places. This is a peaceful open-world exploration adventure where you will compose paintings anywhere in the world. You will offer them to locals to unlock secrets and gain items. Also you will have to acquire crafting materials and schematics to surmount obstacles and solve quests. People on Steam are saying that this is one of the most beautiful games they have ever played, and most only wish that it was like at least 5 times longer. Fallout 4. Here you can play from first to third person perspective. You can take items that lie around and roam across a big open world in search of adventure, absolutely ignoring the main quest and story. So basically it evokes, at least for me it did, the same feeling of freedom and exploration as the Elder Scrolls games. The main difference of course is the setting. Fallout 4 is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi game. It's filled with mutants and creepy facilities to explore. You can also join various factions and that will immensely influence the outcome of the story. Sadly, they don't have a potato salad faction you could join. That is a shame. The game, along with the third Fallout game, has only one really annoying feature. In both cases I finished the game thinking that I have like 10 or more hours of gameplay left, and it ended absolutely unexpectedly and way too fast. So if you decide to play Fallout 4, keep that in mind. Roam around, do some side quests, do not rush the story. All 3 games, I mean third Fallout, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 are great games. You have all my recommendations. Dredge. So this is a fishing game, and in real life I am terrible at fishing. My last 2 fishing trips were marked by my own blood because I caught myself, and I had to actually cut out the barbed end of the hook with pliers in order to remove it from my soft, puny body. Long story short, I am the biggest thing I ever caught. That was really funny for my friends, but for me that was as grim as it can get. So the setting of fishing is nothing that I actually consider a fun thing. But Dredge is not just a fishing game, it's a fishing game with a twist. After dark it becomes a Lovecraftian fishing game. The world around you is teeming with creatures from the void, and when the night sets in, our worlds collide and cosmic horrors enter our realm. Not as scary as your ex-mother-in-law, but still terrifying things. So ideally you want to return to a harbor before the night sets in, so you won't become a dinner for some malevolent demigod of the depths. You can also dock in some safe location and sleep during the night. Of course, it is easier said than done, because the game uses a very cool time management mechanic. If you do nothing, time doesn't move. Like for real, if you just swing on the waves and admire the horizon, you can stay like this forever. But when you start sailing, the timer starts ticking, and at 6 PM Lovecraftian madness starts to settle in. This is a wonderful and honestly kinda relaxing game. Well, except when you go into mangroves. Oh, it's not relaxing at all. Anyway, the game is absolutely 10 cold beers out of 10. A must play. Empyrion Galactic Survival. This is an open-world space sandbox survival adventure. Here you'll build powerful ships, mighty space stations, and vast planetary settlements. Follow your greed and explore, conquer, or exploit a variety of different planets and discover strangest mysteries. You'll have to fight alien, human, and other biological hazards and survive in a hostile galaxy full of hidden dangers. You can play as a lonely potato or team up with your friends, build new friendships, create alliances, or make war to conquer the solar system. The title combines elements from space simulations, construction games, survival games, and various shooters. About 80% of the reviews on Steam are positive. People say that the game plays way better than it looks, and that is always a good sign. Although many players are bashing the difficulty level of the game, some enemies are overpowered, and also the learning curve is pretty steep. Sonic Frontiers. This is that famous open-world Sonic game you probably have heard about, but saw the price and decided to come back later. I'm not saying that this later is now. The price is still kinda steep, and you must be quite a money mountaineer to reach the top of this one.
To say it in simple words, this game is still for rich people.
Yeah, anyway, here you'll race across 5 massive overworld islands, brimming with dense forest, overflowing waterfalls, and sizzling desert landscapes, each with their own unique action platforming challenges and hidden secrets to uncover. Some people on Steam are saying that you will do yourself a favor if you skip all the story moments and just enjoy the action, and reviews on Steam are very positive, hovering above 90%. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. In this open-world strategy RPG sandbox, you will create and develop a character that matches your playstyle. Explore, raid and conquer your way across a vast medieval world where no 2 playthroughs are the same. You will raise armies, engage in politics, trade, craft weapons, recruit companions, and manage your clan. You will command and fight alongside your troops in first or third person, participate in huge real-time battles using skill-based combat system. You can also test your might against players from all over the world in multiplayer PvP, including ranked matchmaking and casual game modes, or host your own server. The only downside, according to Steam players, is that the game is very addictive. Just like potato salad, if you start playing, there is no way you can simply quit doing that. And yeah, I personally know a dude who played 60 hours of it in just one day. True story, bro. I would never lie to you. And now, thank you for watching, and don't forget that you can find many videos like that on my channel. Check all of them out, don't hesitate. Do it. Do it now. Yeah, I'm still waiting, you know. It's not a joke or something.